Well, it's always a bit easier when you're underdog. You know, as favourite, you've got everything to lose, nothing to win. Because if Milan would have beat us, everybody would have said, you know, they were favourites. They should beat them because we only finished fifth in the league. So it makes things probably a bit easier. But then again, if you get to a final, you want to win it. And we knew if we perform as well as we did against Juventus in the last 8 or against Chelsea, we've got a chance to beat them, even though we knew it'll be difficult. But you know, once you're there, you want to win it. And obviously, it didn't go the way we wanted in the first half. But fortunately, we ended up winning the game and you know, lifted the trophy. I expected to play, but I didn't. But then again, you know, you're in a Champions League final and you've got to be disappointed for a couple of minutes, and then you've got to move on and make the best of it, support the teammates, because we're all there together and there to win the game. And as I said, I you know, supported them. Obviously, I wasn't happy I'm not playing, but you've got to you know, take it on the chin sometimes and you know, behave like a professional. And I think that's what everybody's done, because there were probably 1 or 2 others in the team who didn't play, who might have expected to play. And but we all pulled together, and I think that's what we showed then over the 120 minutes and the penalties.
And as you're sitting on the bench in that first half, watching your teammates get taken apart, what's going through your mind?
Well, if it wasn't a Champions League final, it would have been a joy to watch, because I think it was some of the best football I've seen in the last 10 or 20 years. The way they played, the way they passed the ball, the way they kept the ball. I don't think there was you know, much chance or many things we could have done better in the first half. Or obviously things we could have done better, but the way they played, I think it was very difficult to stop them. And the chances they had, they converted and they scored from them. And I don't think we could have argued being 3-0 down, even though I think we had a shout for a penalty just before the end of the first half. But you know, at 3-0, obviously everybody thought the game's finished.
Can you sort of give us an insight into the chaos that was happening at half time and what was going on?
No, well, Jimmy was coming off and yeah, took his shirt off and you know, was just about to go in the shower, and then Finn had a little problem with his adductors. I think the manager asked him whether he can play 90 minutes. He said he thinks so, but he's not sure, and he didn't want to take a chance, because we already made a substitution in the first half. So he didn't want to take a chance and maybe finish with 10 men, you know, because you never know, it might go to extra time, even though we were 3-0 down. And you know, he took Finn off. Then I was out by then, warming up, and I was a bit worried because when Jimmy come out, you know, I was counting them and I'm thinking, you know, we are 12 here, you know, we've got to be one too many here, because Jimmy was going to come off and I was going to come on. So I was counting them, and you know, I asked somebody who was next to me, I don't know who he was, I asked him what's going to happen here, but why Jimmy's out, and they told me that yeah, Finn had a bit of a problem and came off.
That second half it's going to go down in history as the most astonishing comeback ever, I imagine. Can you explain how that's possible?
No. Well, I think as much as we won it, I think they lost it. They should have never got in a position after being 3-0 up at half time. And you know, they had a great chance, I think, to make it 4-0 just after half time. And we hoped, but you know, you can't really believe, if you're against an Italian side, if you're 3-0 down, you can't really, you know, believe or think, well, we're going to come back. Obviously, you try your best. The only thing I know or knew, I thought if we score one, we get another one. And once we get to 3-2, you know, if it's 2 minutes left or 20 minutes left, it'll be game on. And as soon as the first goal went in, I knew we were going to score again. And obviously, I didn't expect them to come so quickly, because I think we, you know, by 60 or 61 or 62 minutes, we equalised. So it happened all a bit too quick, but yeah, we took it. I was warming up at half time and they were still singing. Obviously, they were, I don't know, singing in desperation, or, you know, just being happy we are there, because obviously they, you know, probably most of them, all of them, thought we lost the game. But they were there singing, supporting the team, even though we were 3-0 down. I think that's, it's special. I don't think it would have happened with any other supporters in the world, what the Liverpool fans done, and to win the cup then 60 or 80 minutes later for them was just something else. We kept them past the ball better, I think, in the second half than we did in the first half, and made chances. And Stevie's finish was a great finish, the first goal, and I got the ball from the left, might have been Johnny Reese, and passed it on to Vlad. He took a touch and hit a very good shot. Keeper, I think, got a hand to it, but couldn't keep it out. And after we scored the second goal, obviously the crowd was even more livelier than they were before. And I think we started believing as well after the first, and definitely after the second goal, we started believing, thinking, we can do this.
And then Gattuso brings down Gerrard in the area, and it's a penalty. I think a lot of people were expecting you to maybe take that one, because you always do get chosen in the shootouts. But Alonso took it. Was there any pre-plan for that?
Well, the manager names one or two players, mainly two players he names before the game, and I don't know who he's named for this game, but obviously Xabi was one of them, and even though I don't think he's taken one before for us, but he knocked the rebound in, fortunately. You look up and you think it could be 3 each now. What's going to happen? What's going on here? And he misses, and you think, oh no. And I think it was a very good finish, because it wasn't the easiest of rebounds or finishes. So I think the rebound was probably harder to put away than the penalty.
And then, all hell broke loose all over the world probably at that point. And then the game it went a bit quiet. Was it a case of everyone just going blind? No,
I think it suited us, because obviously after 3-0 down and coming back to 3-3, maybe other teams would have got carried away and think, we get a fourth and a fifth here. But you must not forget that we play against AC Milan, one of the best, or maybe the best teams by the time. And you kind of think, well, if we get another one, good, but we've got to make sure we don't concede it now, because if you pull 3 goals back and concede one, all the effort was for nothing. So obviously we come out all guns blazing for the second half, because we knew we need to score 3 goals. But after we got them, obviously we had to change our approach and say, make sure we don't concede it. If we get another one, fine. If not, we go into extra time. And obviously they started playing better. They passed the ball better, created a few chances themselves, and made it a bit harder for us. But obviously our approach changed, thinking the last thing we want now is concede a goal.
Did you see a change in the Milan players? Did they come out at half-time smiling, and then within 10 minutes they looked devastated?
Yeah, I think they thought they won the game, definitely, yeah. And if they had carried on playing as they did in the first half, they wouldn't have lost the game. Easy as that.
As the game got into extra time, you could see the effort that the Liverpool team had put in was taking its toll, because there were people going down with cramp all the time. Did you feel that was a real case of let's just see this through now and get to penalties? Oh yeah, well
if there was the most likely scorer would have been Milan, I think. If there was another goal, I think if you look at possession and the chances there in extra time, you probably would have thought if somebody scores a goal, it'll be them, because we hardly threatened and didn't really create any chances in extra time. So we knew, hang on, we had to chase the game for a long time after being down after 1 or 2 minutes. So it's always takes a bit more energy and effort if you have to chase a game. And obviously, as you've seen in extra time, everybody was flat out, and most players, or some players, going down with cramps. And it was just the mind that got some of them through the 120 minutes, just believing and pulling out the last reserves to get into the penalties.
Did you have a decent view of that Dudek double save from Shevchenko?
Yeah, good enough.
Can you talk us through your emotions as that moment's happening?
Yeah, it's well, the first one, I think it's a decent save, and the ball comes out and you think, how or why, all that effort, because 99 out of 100 he scores, and he raises his arm, hits him, and you think, well, we may as well win it now, because they were 3-0 up. Their chances, they missed this chance. If it goes to penalties, you think, there's so many things going through your head, or so many things and not many things in a way, because you think, you've lost the game 3 times and you're still here. And that seemed to be crucial. Then he made that save. 2 minutes later, the game was finished, and we went to penalties.
After the extra time, before the penalties, how does the manager go about choosing his 5 players?
Well, he's probably got 5 in mind, and he comes up to the players, asks them whether they want to take one, and I don't know which players he asked, but I think the 5 he'd asked, they all said yeah, they're going to take one, and he just decided on the order.
Someone has to go first.
Well, he asked me if I'd take one. I said yes, and I didn't really want to speak to anybody, or didn't realise or notice anybody else. I was just concentrated and thinking, we've got a hell of a chance here. And he come up a minute or 2 late, and he said, "You take the first one."
And the walk from the centre circle to the penalty spot, is that the longest walk of your life?
Yeah, the one there was longer than the one back. It kind of helped a bit that Serginho missed the first penalty. That made it a bit easier, because if I had missed, we'd still be 0-0. And so I just picked my spots. Didn't really see any penalties against Didi from the past, and he's a very big goalie, so the goal looks a bit smaller when he's then upright in goal. But I just picked my spot, and fortunately took us 1-0 up.
And you turn around and give it one of those?
Yeah, just a little one. It's only 1-0, so you never know what's going to happen.
And then as you're watching Jerzy Dudek with his, not quite spaghetti legs, but his giant spider impression,
yeah.
Is it he'd been told to try and...
I didn't know. I think Cara told him, or I don't know when he told him, if before the game or before the penalties. I've never seen him doing it, but it worked that day.
And so once Milan sort of fell to pieces a bit in the shootout. Why do you think that was?
Well, we went 2-0 up, and you think, well, we won now. And then they scored, we missed, they scored again, and we were level. When Vladi scored his penalty, Smitzer, it was 2 each. So we had 2 to go, they had 1 to go, and it was 2 each. And you think, after we scored the first 2 and they missed the first 2, you think, we should have won this. And then we missed, and they obviously scored 2, and it was 2 each. And I just thought, hopefully not the same happens to us that than it happened to them in the first half. And Vladi put his away, made it 3-2, and Jerzy made that crucial save against Shevchenko. And that was it.
And then, it's impossible for the immortals to know what it feels like to win a Champions League. Can you tell us, when you see the ball being saved, is it just an explosion of joy? Yeah,
pure emotions, ecstasy. It's just unbelievable. Especially the way we've done it. If you win, it's good enough to win any cup, but the way we've done it, I think, made it a bit more special. And there were, I don't know how many Liverpool fans. I think there had 20 or 25,000 tickets. They ended up 40 or 45,000 in the ground, and to celebrate with them, and obviously afterwards was just amazing. But we couldn't believe it. We were sitting in the dressing room, shaking our heads, thinking, how?